EU finance ministers have agreed on a number of measures to improve the value-added tax or VAT system within the bloc. Information and intelligence on organised gangs involved in VAT fraud will now be shared systematically with EU enforcement bodies. Improved coordination will ensure that fast-moving criminal activity is tracked and tackled more quickly. The EU has reinforced rules to control illicit cash flows in and out of the bloc as a measure against the financing of terrorism. People entering or leaving the EU with more than $11,500 in cash, cheques, prepaid cards or gold will have to inform customs. There are also new rules to improve the day-to-day functioning of the current VAT system until reforms have been implemented. These so-called quick fixes should reduce compliance costs and increase legal certainty for businesses. Let's get more on this now with Craig Copetas, who's our TRT World Editor-at-Large in Paris. Hello there, Craig. Good to see you.
Hey, Ash.
So the European Commission has agreed to adopt these new rules to control illicit flows of money across EU borders. How effective do you think these are going to be?
They're not going to be very effective at all. It is very easy to transfer money. It is very easy to launder money, as our previous report showed. And the reason, one of the big reasons for this is buried in the lead of our just story. You said EU finance ministers, plural. That's the Achilles heel. The EU is not a country. It is a nation. It is an amalgamation of bureaucrats with no structural coordination. And that has always been the EU's Achilles heel, which you don't have in the United States, where you only have one Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. This is an Achilles heel that people who want to launder money or do other nefarious activities can quite easily get around, isn't it?
Well, yeah, very much so. And you're talking about $11,000. As our $11,000 in the scope of things is chump change. I mean, beneath chump change. Let's look at the Danske Bank, for example, $234 billion laundered. So much, in fact, that Danske at first put aside, I think it was $800 million for fines. Now it looks like they might get fined $1.7 billion, according to reports. So how are the culprits dealt with when they're caught? They're fined. Money is put aside to pay for this. The cost of fines within a corrupt banking system is the cost of doing business. That's how the lawyers factor it in. I know that because I've sat in the rooms with these guys and I've written books about it.
No, that is the crucial point there. These new rules tighten up certain loopholes that have existed since the original rules came in 2007. And these include things like tightening up on people who use gold and prepaid cards to transfer money across borders. That sounds like quite an exotic and interesting way of moving money across, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, yes, it is. And if you're moving gold across borders, the enforcers better wake up and smell the coffee. Gold is not moved physically across borders in most cases. Ownership papers are shifted. The gold is most often kept in tax-free zones, which is another problem that the EU has, and the United States. And again, you're talking about really peanut money. Look, ING in the Netherlands just axed one of its top financial officers over its failure to vet their customers for money laundering. It's not hard to vet people, particularly people with a lot of cash.
Exactly. And I think that the problem there is that perhaps the rules are okay, but it's the enforcement that perhaps is the problem. Let's just turn the corner for a second. You mentioned Danske Bank. Its CEO is just one of several CEOs today who've lost their jobs. Audi, General Electric, Pfizer, all of their chiefs are out. Is there a common thread running through all of these stories, Craig?
Yes, absolutely. All of those CEOs have very nice golden parachute payout packages. They're not going to have to worry about their children's college education or where their next meal comes from. So we can feel good about them. And they're not going to go to jail. They're just a new crowd is going to come in. The route to get at corruption and good management, you have to have root and branch change within the corporation itself. And that is still not happening despite the best efforts of a lot of good people.
Indeed, it isn't. Craig Copetas in Paris, thank you so much.